We have less than 2 weeks to finalize preparation, says Sundance over the conservative treehouse. And I tell you, man, there's some, it's kind of worrisome. I'm not going to lie to you, it's kind of worrisome. I look down my basement today, I see a whole bunch of freeze-dried foods down there, which is good. Need to probably up some water, right? Go to Costco, load up some water. But, I was listening to Dr. Jennifer Daniels the other day, who I'm a huge fan of this woman. And basically, she says it all comes down to three things: clean food, clean water, and shelter. If you get those three things, you're going to be in good shape. Do you have food? Do you have water? Do you have a clean water supply? And water is everything, man. But food, obviously, water should be, municipalities should be pretty easy. But the food stuff is concerning to me. And I'm just thinking, like, what am I missing in my preps? What am I missing? I don't know. So think about what you're missing. So I'm going to just stay with me here. It's an interesting video, and we shall see. It's better to be prepared and made a fool than not to be prepared and starve to death, if that makes sense. So let's again, and look, if you haven't followed Conservative Treehouse Sundance, this guy, I tell you, man, I came across him in 2015 when he was banging on the Republican Party. He's like, it's Trump or bust for me. And he analyzed all the polls. I still think this is Richard Barrick or Barris, the People's Pundit guy. I actually don't think that anymore because Barris, whatever his name is, he was in Florida, my understanding, and Sundance is in Southern Florida. But the way they analyzed the polls, I said, this is got to be that guy. But I'm not sure it is. Anyway, but he analyzed all the polls and he said, no way Trump's losing. He's going to win in a landslide. And sure enough, Trump did. He won in a landslide from an electoral college perspective. And I remember I said that in my work when I was at USA. I said, it was the night of the election, left said Trump's going to win. And he can't. Everyone's like, how'd you know this? Because this guy, Sundance, he analyzed them all. All right, anyway, he says, the window to prepare for the incoming crisis of our lifetime is now down to 2 weeks. Hopefully that's specific enough. As we've discussed in these pages, the interventionist policies and regulations from the people who created the COVID response have been FUBAR from the beginning. When they shut down the restaurants and hospitality sector, the advisors and bureaucrats triggered a cascading series of events on the food supply chain. Adding to the supply chain inflation crisis that we're dealing with now, in about a week, the vaccine mandate and subsequent commercial passport means 30,000 cross-border truckers are about to get shut down from operating between the U.S. and Canada. And here's the president of the Private Motor Truck Council of Canada. 70% of the $700 billion trade between Canada and the U.S. is moved by truck. This will have a dramatic effect on supplies and services reaching their destination and getting in the hands of those who need them. One needs to look no further than the recent fuel shortage in the UK, where the military had to be brought in to deliver fuel as a result of a lack of drivers. We're already seeing shortages. If these shortages reach critical levels on an item such as fuel, food, blood, medicine, and medical supplies, we will see long-lasting damage in medical supplies. Get some antibiotics, stuff you put on for cuts and stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Neosporin. Get some Neosporin. Hopefully you got some alcohol. Hopefully you got some hydrogen peroxide, all that stuff. Some wraps. Get your first aid kit. As noted by those following the issues closely, starting January 15th, truckers must show a proof of vax to cross the U.S.-Canada border. Since March 2020, drivers were considered essential. That is, under the Biden-Trudeau administration, this is about to change. 22,000 truckers about to lose their job. But this estimate is from the Canadian Trucking Association. The Private Motor Truck Council of Canada says about 31,000 truckers. We're looking at a meltdown of the supply chain, or at least some severe disruption. Get everything you need now. Inflation is about to get real. So that's the underground church right here. That from this article right here. 30,000 truckers about to walk out of their jobs. So I did a video earlier today on, I'm proud of my Scots-Irish heritage. And the reason for that is because they have the independent streak. Not the ones left behind. I'm talking the ones that came here to settle the United States. But they're not going to be told what to do. And these independent truckers, I guarantee there are tons of Scots-Irish that are in that Mick said, "I'm not going to tell me. I don't care if I don't care. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'll be impoverished before I freaking heal," which is good, but it's bad too because now we're like, ugh. Anyway. So get everything you need now. Let's see, Bible and beer. That's pretty good, but I don't drink. Here's Mike Milliam from the president of the Private Motor Truck Company Council of Canada. The true crisis remains unreported. We're looking at a meltdown of supply chain. Get everything you need now. Let's see if we can get comments on here. Sack up, yeah, 100%. So let's go back. Anyway, so act as if or be acted on. Ultimately, this appears to be our choice right now. If we are wrong, then we'll breathe a sigh of relief. But if we are right, that guy's not going to rescue you. That guy's not going to rescue you. We have approximately 2 weeks. All right, right here. Conservative Treehouse readers are well versed on the domestic side of the issue. When you overlay the USMCA aspect and recognize the critical sectors of the North American economy that are reliant upon each other, when you realize that no one outside the blue-collar crews who have specific expertise in applying common sense to this equation are talking about it, then you begin to realize what is obviously about to hit, and yet all will claim they never saw it coming. All right, so let's keep. I saw that, and I saw this here too. Check this out. And so things that seem disconnected but ain't, and this is interesting. So things to look out for. Shortage of processed potatoes, frozen specifically, and or a shortage of the ancillary products that are derivatives of potatoes. I don't. Potatoes come from Canada. I mean, I think Idaho and Maine, but I'm not sure about. I don't get it. I'm not sure why the processed potatoes. Are they coming from Canada? I don't know. A larger than usual footprint of turkey in the supermarket. These are things to look out for. The last line of protein. Huh. That was interesting. A larger than usual footprint. A noticeable increase in the price of citrus products. Yeah, I would even say the absence of non-seasonal products. It's going to be tough to get oranges if there's no one to deliver the trucks because no one's growing oranges here in Georgia right now. You got to get them hauled on a truck. And if the trucks aren't coming, you're not getting your oranges. A sparse distribution of foodstuffs that rely on flavorings. Small to little price difference on the organic comparable. Different supply chain. Unusual of country of origin for fresh product type. Yeah, so maybe pineapples will no longer be Caribbean or Hawaii. They might be Mexico. I don't know. Absence of large container products. Yeah, big time. Shortage of ordinary but specific grain derivative items. Example, wheat crackers. Big brand shortages. Shortage of wet pet foods. Shortage of complex blended products with multiple ingredients. Soups. A consistent shortage of milk products and or ancillaries. These notes are all precursors that show significant stress in the supply chain. At first, each retail operation will show varying degrees of the supply chain stress according to their size. But remember that dairy farmers began in 2020 dumping their milk because the commercial side of milk demand was locked down. Plastic jugs were in short supply, and the processing side of the equation had a limited amount of operational capacity right here. So we have the two different, what Sundance is talking about 2020. Two different supply chains. So we got the production, we got processing, distribution. Some go to the retail and some go to the kitchen. Retail, kitchen, completely different. These guys want gallon jugs of milk. These guys want 5-gallon jugs of milk. So when this is shut down and they're closing, they can't just give us all the excess milk because they don't have the jugs to move it. Very interesting. See the fork supply that separates right there. Yep. Food at home is 40%. Food from away home is 60%. And so where do you think these guys, the distribution centers are focused on? Mostly food away from home because that's where the big sales are. COVID regulations destroyed this complex supply chain in 2020. It takes time to recover because replenishment is based on the harvest cycles. This stuff must be grown. Anyway, I'll let you read that because that's fantastic. But I want to keep going back because I saw this too. It all kind of flows. Right here, U.S. anesthesiast tells British Health Secretary that mandatory jabber rules make no sense for those with natural immunity. But that's not what I want to talk about right here. I want to talk about this. The UK government has passed a law forcing all doctors to undergo vax or face removal from the NHS job. Approximately 90% of the UK medical staff at King's College in London have been jabbed. However, a loss of 10% of critical care providers could cause a problem. After spending the last 2 years treating COVID patients, Dr. Steve James confronted the British health authorities about the policy that makes no sense. He talked to the UK health minister, who has no medical experience, was confronted by Dr. James, who has natural immunity, who told this stupid idiot that the rules make no sense. Just think, though, if you had 10%, he's an anesthesiast. He's like, this doesn't make sense. You're going to force me out of the job? 10% loss? Just think you had 10% loss of surgeons, 10% loss of nurse practitioners, 10 to 15% loss, probably 20% loss of truckers. You got 2 weeks, man. Let's take a look at Amazon real quick. All right, so let's just look at Costco freeze-dried stuff here, and let's see what we got. We're going to go to, let's see. All right, sweet. We got freeze-dried strawberries, freeze-dried corn, and blueberries. Let's see if they're in the house here. All right, it looks like they've replenished a lot of their freeze-dried stuff, so that's good. Freeze-dried chicken and ground beef, number 10 cans. All right, after $100 off. Oh, hell, man. I better buy some of this right here. Let's take a look. Yeah, all right, sweet. So I tell you, man, I'd be buying some of this right now. $440. All right, you got 20-year, 5-year shelf life, 12 number 10 cans. I mean, you just don't know. And it's not heavy. It's light. It just fits in your basement. You want to store in a cool, dry place for sure. Freeze-dried breakfast skillet, Mountain House. Yeah, this is not debatable. You better, and look, if I'm wrong, we're wrong. What to do? I mean, that's what you have. Due to high demand and volume, the shipping may take time longer than normal. Yeah, completely agree. All right, so that's at Mountain House. Let's see what's, that's at Amazon. $209 for 6. Let's see, Amazon looks like, I don't know. Yeah, I can't imagine it'd be cheaper at Amazon. But, I don't know. I'm just telling you, be prepared, man. It's a lesson that must be shared to be prepared. I just don't know. And I don't understand people say, it makes no sense to me. Like, why would you not be prepared? So, get your hydrogen peroxide, get your alcohol, get your wraps, your first aid kits, get your Neosporin, get your food, get your freaking your filters for water. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go get a couple extra propane tanks. You just don't know. I mean, so let's say you spend $500 and it turns out you need that. Okay. Is that the worst thing you've ever spent? It's a lot better than spending $500 going to go see the Georgia-Alabama game, for heaven's sake. All right. Oh, and then finally, I want to show you something else too. We're not done. Check this. All right, so I went to my my community page on Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. I just posted this quote from Nikola Tesla. Today's scientists have substitute mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. I said just like economics. By the way, it's a Savoy Auto Museum. I took one of my boys to look at that. Freaking sharp rides. Those things are, just look at the beautiful thing. Anyway, right here. We just read this. I said, we are looking to melt down supply chain or at least some severe disruption. And then I had this guy right in here. Right here. This won't be good. I'm a truck driver and drive one of the major routes from east to west every day. I kid you not, I can't go a mile or two without passing a truck from Canada. There are thousands here every day, and that's just the route I'm on. So that tells me, my friends, that if 10%, if 10 to 20,000 truckers stop, it just doesn't take a rocket science to figure out where this is going to lead. So freaking prepare. It's okay to be paranoid when it comes to stuff. What's the alternative? That I wasn't paranoid and it hits you in the rear end? Just be prepared. We'll see.